These are some of the greatest superheroes ever, but this one is invincible. And with the success of the game Marvel Rivals, he's just one of the characters that I'm gonna draw in that amazing style. The only problem is, how do I redesign him to match that Marvel Rivals universe? But some ugly guy came from the future and told me that it is awesome. Did you just call me ugly? So ugly. So today, I'm gonna draw Invincible in the style of Marvel Rivals. Let's get started. I'm keeping with the classic silhouette, a flying pose, clenched fist, ready to throw hands. I gotta make sure I give him a serious look because he's about to get thrown into the Marvel Rivals chaos. With the sketch done, I'm moving on to the inking. And in the Marvel Rivals art style, the line art is pretty thin, and sometimes it can even disappear. Thin lines, loose edges, clean, but not too clean. The line art is one of the things that I love about this style, especially when the lines come right off the character. Ooh, nice lines. I have to give the suit some futuristic upgrades. Shoulder pads, gauntlets, some techie lines to make it look more sci-fi. It's the same character, just more tactical, less spandex, more tech. Line art done, now we color. I use yellow and blue and a darker blue for the black parts to add my own artistic flair. I then get ready to render. Add a slight soft shadow first, then move on to the hard shadows for that cel-shaded look. I leave in those brush strokes to give it that Marvel Rivals style as well. I don't blend everything in. It's almost time for the rim lighting, a hard-edged white block of color with pink and blue accents. The thing that makes Marvel Rivals style really stand out. Also, pink and blue are the best color combinations. Fight me. Speaking of fighting, let's talk about Invincible's move list. Invincible is going to be a character that can fly at all times, like Iron Man. But he'll be a bit slower, which gives him his first ability, a speed boost, with a shockwave damaging nearby enemies. It doesn't last too long, but it's a good way to get out of the fight or into it. Ability 2, an uppercut followed by a Superman punch. The Superman punch knocks enemies back. Not too far though, because we don't want it to be like Spider-Man being able to just pull people off cliffs. That is way too OP and it's super annoying. And I think he needs to have a blocking ability. He throws up his hands to block when he is being attacked, and it makes him, well, invincible. Ha! Pun. If the enemies hit him, he gets a speed boost and a damage buff. So they have to make a decision on whether or not they want to hit him. And now for his ultimate, he dashes to any enemies within a certain distance and just unleashes a fury attack. It's like Psylocke's, but you control which way you attack and which enemy you want to attack. You can focus on just one or damage your multiple enemies. He also gets a speed boost while doing this and a slight durability boost. And back to the artwork. As I mentioned earlier, some of these inks can disappear. So make a clipping mask over your inks and just color them in with the same color that's next to them. I have some finishing touches that I like to add, like some lighting effects and that amazing rim light that I mentioned earlier. Here he is, Invincible. Too OP? Let me know in the comments down below. Would you play as him? Would you make some changes to his toolkit? I personally would love this character, almost as much as I would love the next character, atomeve. She is one of my favorite characters in Invincible, and today I'm turning her into a healing-based superhero support for Marvel Rivals. Less I'll destroy you and more let me help you. Since Invincible already zooms around 24/7, I'm going to be grounding her a bit. She doesn't fly all the time, but she does have her first ability, which is a levitating ability. She levitates slightly and she generates this pink aura sphere. Any allies are inside of it, they get some heals. Any enemies inside of it, they take damage. Sketch lines done, now we ink. I gave her some subtle armor, shoulder pads, brass knuckles, all made up of her powers. No chunky armor over here, just pink energy. I don't really like that big clunky armor she has in the show. And also, again, I add these thin metallic lines for a futuristic vibe. I'm keeping her OG colors, but giving her suit an upgrade with that belt with a glowing circle that channels her powers. Now we render. While I'm painting here, again, I keep in some of those brush strokes, which adds to that cel-shaded look that Marvel Rivals has. And while we paint, let's talk about what else she can do. Her primary fire is an energy projectile. It does light damage, but are there any allies nearby? If they get hit, they get a health boost. But let's give her another healing ability. I had this idea that she grants her allies a pink glowy armor. It makes them more tankier, and it slowly heals them if they're not taking any damage. Also, I want to give her a shield ability. She creates this big pink shield. Enemy projectiles hit it, poof, they're converted into healing energy. It doesn't last long, but it's super clutch and resets. Now for her ultimate. I have two versions of this, so help me choose in the comments down below. Option 1, a massive pink wave. If it hits allies, they get healed. If it hits enemies, pain. But she can only use it if her health drops below 20%. Using it, of course, heals her. Option number 2, when she unleashes her ultimate, her health doesn't have to be below 20. She can just unleash it. But it drains her health below 20% when it's complete. While active, she can fly freely, like Invincible and Iron Man. She goes full support mode. But if you're not careful and in cover by the time it's over, it's a quick ticket back to the spawn. Because remember, her health dropped below 20. Let me know in the comments down below which one you think you would prefer. Personally, I like option 2. We're almost done. Add that rim light, and here she is, atomeve, in the style of Marvel Rivals. I struggled with that one so much, but I managed to muscle through it. And speaking of muscling through it, my next character is the oldest and strongest Viltrumite yet. Conquest. This guy is pure violence wrapped up in a metal arm. He's already big and invincible, but for Marvel Rivals, I made him even bigger. Incredible Hulk big. I can sometimes struggle with symmetry, especially when I'm all hyped up on all these Oreo cookies. So good. But thank you Clip Studio for the symmetry ruler. Because of the straightforward pose, I can draw something on one side and it will be drawn on the other side. Now let's move on to his move list. First, his movement. Again, I don't want him flying up in the air like Invincible because I just don't want too many characters that can do that. Plus, he's a tank and I think that would be OP. But he doesn't just walk around, he hovers like Magneto. And that brings me to his first ability, a super jump. He does a long jump that sends a shockwave that damages nearby enemies. He can slow his descent before smashing down to the ground, if he chooses. Ability 2, durability boost. He raises his metal arm like, go ahead and hit me. The more he gets hit, the more he heals. But his movement is slowed during this ability. He's the perfect shield for his allies when they stand behind him. The next ability, and my favorite, is the backhand smack. Okay, so a slight spoiler for season 3 of Invincible, not really, but sorry. So in season 3, Conquest fights Oliver and he gives him a nice backhand smack, sending him flying. So I turned that into a move. He slaps an enemy and they go flying. If they crash into their teammates, boom, domino damage. I add the rim light before I do the rendering this time to see if it helps me work better. Less distractions with less layers to worry about. Now to the rendering. I noticed something. His gauntlet, the lights, they're purple. And I was like, wait 1 second. Power Stone? Yeah, I'm not saying he has the Power Stone, but I'm not saying he doesn't. And now for his ultimate attack. This one's wild. If you watch season 3, then you know where I got it from. He grabs an enemy and charges forward like a runaway train. Every enemy in his path knocked back and stunned. If he pins his target to the wall, gone, deleted, bye. Do it fast enough and he gets a damage buff against the still stunned enemies. Also, it's not just a straightforward charge. You can aim it upwards to the air if you want to get somebody like Invincible or Iron Man. It was a lot of fun making this character, and here he is, Conquest. I love all these characters, but my personal favorite is Conquest. Let me know in the comments down below which is your favorite and who would you play as. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss the next one, and watch this video right here if you want to see me draw DC characters in this Marvel Rivals art style. My favorite? Static Shock. And remember, I'm awesome. I think. Thanks for watching.